Bannock County Commissioners are back in session. We're back into budget. And who's first?
Let's do historical first. Anita's gonna need executive session.
Okay.
So I don't know if you wanna go historical and then Dylan and then,
Yep.
or however you wanna do it.
All right. What page are we on?
And 54.
Okay, well, thank you guys for meeting with us again. This is really good. I guess I just have just a couple of clarification questions about the recommended.
Can you introduce yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just getting right into it.
You're good. We're just on the record.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm Lillian Hammersley. I'm the director of the Bannock County Historical Complex.
And I'm Arlen Walker. I'm president of the Bannock County Historical Society, which runs the whole thing.
Okay.
All right. Now
Okay, sorry about that. Mainly, I see that like our capital request, it looks like it was recommended to be split up between Centennial Trust and the PILT fund, which, what I understand, that's the in lieu of taxes fund from a few years ago. Is that something like that? Or I was just trying to understand what that fund
Built
is.
as grant money,
Oh, it's grant money.
essentially.
Okay, so do I need to apply for those, or
No.
is that like a already
No.
done type
Those
of thing?
Those have been funded. All you need to do is when
Okay.
you make that purchase, just bring the invoice into
Oh,
Christy
okay.
Davenport or into the auditing office.
Uh-huh.
We'll code it for you and take
Okay.
care of that side.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Yeah, I guess like this is the first time I'm doing this, so I just have like just questions about like the actual like logistics of it. Like, who do I need to talk to do this? And the other thing was the salary amount. It looks like that covers fully me and Kia's, my collections manager's, like total salary right now. But I don't know what the 3% is about. Or I thought that was like a cost of living increase for county employees, but we're not technically county employees, so I wasn't sure if that applied to us or not.
No, because this is a property tax fund and the commission was trying to hold property taxes increases to a minimum, we allowed for a 3% increase over last year, so that's what that 3% is.
Oh, okay, so it's for last year's, okay.
We couldn't totally fund your request.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the ask was like 50% more
Yeah,
than
yeah.
current year.
And that's fine, because
so-
we are doing well, like with our revenue and able to cover about a third of our salary, so we're still able to keep our other full-time person on, like through our own funds, so that worked out pretty well. Okay, and okay, I think that's all about that. And Arlen, you wanted to talk about the COVID relief fund grant.
Oh yeah, how is there any stipulation on how that is to be used? The COVID Relief Fund grant?
Did you guys get a grant? Or us?
Yeah, or you guys.
I think there was an amount specified for us, but I can't remember exactly what it was.
That wasn't through the county.
It
Okay,
wasn't.
so that's just these.
No.
So we need to apply somewhere else for that.
Yeah, if you got a grant for COVID relief, that didn't come through the county.
Do you get
In our
funds
ARPA
through
fund.
the city?
Is that a
Pardon?
city?
Do you get funds through the city?
We do for a portion of the, it's a complicated situation. The society built the building and owns the contents. The county now owns the building because it's on county land. The Frontier, or Pocatello Junction, and the fort are on city property and run and funded by the fort, or by the city. So the city has a budget to maintain the Fort Hall historic replica and so on. So it's kind of a complicated situation. We're dealing with a number of different entities.
Yeah, so I guess like the question's about, because like the funds like that we talked about using that for was to redo or make our bathrooms in the museum ADA accessible and redo the wheelchair ramps.
Yeah,
And so
'cause-
we wanted to ask if we could.
Yeah, right now the museum doesn't qualify to be adequately ADA proper. The ramps are too small. The bathrooms need being redone. And for some reason, I thought we had some of that money to do that. I remember the number was like 168,000, but
So I think now I know what you're talking about, is we had allotted some ARPA funds to assist with the bathroom remodels, but because you guys had your issues earlier in the year, you wanted to wait to do those bathrooms because you'd been closed for so long. So those monies had been reallocated to other projects because
Oh.
those projects, we're supposed to have all ARPA funds allotted by December 31st of '24.
Oh,
And so we had to shift those to other projects so that they could get completed, so that we could get those moving. So if there's still a request for those bathrooms, we would need to come up with a different funding source.
Okay.
okay, that explains it.
So, yeah.
Yep.
They actually use those funds for lighting? Isn't that where Dan put it?
I can't
Oh, the
remember.
Well, we
lighting,
did
the
a-
lighting was already done.
Yeah.
It's finished now.
But that's where he moved the monies from. He says, I would rather finish the lighting because we can't do the bathrooms at this time.
Yeah.
And I'd rather put the monies towards this project that we have going
Well,
on.
that'd be nice if they had asked us about
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's okay. Is there still a possibility of getting the bathrooms done once the summer tourist season is
No.
over?
Yeah, we'll probably have to apply.
Not
for
right
it.
now.
We'll have to apply for something somewhere
Yeah.
else.
Okay.
That's
Um,
clear.
Maybe put them in the request for next fiscal
Yeah.
year's budget.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
we can
think
come up
most of
with
the only problems with the bathrooms, I mean, the stalls are the adequate width, but there are some other ADA requirements now, like each bathroom, both male and female, has to have a baby changing station and a different kind of counter setup, and they're changing the requirements all the time, it seems.
Yep, we run into the same thing.
There may be some grants out
Oh,
there
and
that would
the,
help you with that type of thing, and you're writing grants now,
The
right?
Yeah.
ADA ramps
Yeah,
are
so
not
look for that.
compliant at
Yeah,
all
we have
anymore.
been,
The ones,
looking at-
the access to the main floor of the museum and then back down to the grounds.
Okay.
So basically, it would be, don't you think the ADA ramps in the bathrooms are the,
Yeah, that's kind of the two things. Yeah.
yeah?
Mhm. Yep. Okay. Well, yeah, we will. Yeah, we'll look into that for next year's, and we are looking at like federal grants for that as well. So we might be able to,
And
get some
actually
different
with
balance.
this, the maintenance of the building, we have Dan, who is our maintenance guy, is over all our buildings.
Mhm.
And you need to have conversations with him and what you guys' goals are and what his overseeing the building
Yeah.
so that they match up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the building is great right now. The restoration after the ceiling damage is beautifully done. I don't know if you've been up there to see it, but it's pretty nice. And
Yeah,
we
the
are
lighting is
happy.
great. It is great to have the lighting in there, like the overhead lighting.
And the new
so-
lighting is
Yeah.
really super.
And that's with the new
Yeah.
roof and everything else that went on. I mean, there was a lot of repairs made in a short period of time there
Mhm.
that we didn't really plan on.
Yeah.
As far as the maintenance of the small town and the fort, that's city requirements, so
Yes.
that's not a concern at this meeting or any other with the county.
All right. I think that's probably it then for the questions I had.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
And
Anita?
thank you for your support. It's really been great the last couple of years, and we appreciate that.
You bet. Oh, Dylan, I guess we're going with Dylan first because we're going to go to the executive session.
Yeah, because I don't think, Dylan, yours shouldn't be executive, right? Okay.
What page is he?
78.
All right.
Ready? Dylan Evans, landfill manager. I just wanted to bring this back for you guys' attention. I'd like to have some special consideration for the third scale house position. I know that auditing, they did a great job on getting the budgets out and they look really good. But I want to highlight how important that position is. I know they said no new positions, but if not this year, then I'd like it to be on your guys' radar in the future as well. This position is really important to the facility. All you guys that have been there during busy times, it's a lot faster and better when you've got two people out there working the facility. I know working with Aubrey, going through, what are our pinch points, what are things that matter the most, cash security handling, things like that make a big difference. It allows the ability for these people to actually use their benefits and time off. It's kind of hard that, we have a few people that can come in and cover for those situations that they're not there all the day or they need a lunch break or whatever, but it's just hard on us that if I find out at 7 o'clock in the morning that someone's not gonna be to work that day. So we're scrambling, trying to figure out, abandoning our own lives to try and make that work, which I think in and of itself is important. But what I'd really like to point out on this position is that I would love to use it as actually kind of more of a hybrid position and have that person able to come into the office and help learn Aubrey's portion, because she's really the only one that does that job. There's really nobody else that jumps in and helps her to do those kinds of things. I'll do a little bit of the billing stuff, but as far as her world, there's really nobody that's truly cross-trained to that particular position. And I think it'd be good for the facility to have at least some options for, future planning, succession planning, things like that, to be able to move that information around to more than just one or two people. One thing that she mentioned that would be a huge help for her is actually tracking down collections. I think that's one that takes a lot of time. So it's people that are delinquent on their accounts. We send the bill out past due, but to actually call every person, go through the process, I think that it would be highly helpful to have additional times throughout the year periodically to track
Those are
those collections.
contractors?
Yeah, people that have accounts with us. We call them our commercial accounts, but
So do we shut them down?
yes.
As soon as they go?
Yep. But I don't know, they're wily and have their other options. I don't know if they use city cans or what, so they still are able to do business, but they still have a credit owed on their account. They just don't actually come to the landfill.
Or they send their guy through
Yeah, no.
in a different truck.
Yeah, and they'll give them $200 cash or whatever and say,
Do
"Get there," and-
you have people sign or fill out credit applications before you set up an account?
No, I don't believe
I wonder
so.
if we should relook at that process before,
I think that'd be good.
I don't think we've ever done that, but I think
This
times
will
are
lean on your
changing a little
taxes,
bit.
on your
So we
property.
should-
You owe the county, this becomes a lien on your
We would need
property.
to check with legal and make sure we could do that, because we used to try and do that with noxious weed, and I think that got shut down. But we could try to set up a credit application where they would sign off saying, if I don't pay, then we could try and
Yeah.
use
You
that
have
as a second
quite a bit of
resource.
that?
It's not a lot, but they're typically kind of the similar group of customers. They'll finally get paid up and then they kind of slip back into the red again. So it's just kind of one of those ongoing deals that I wish Aubrey was here. She'd know a lot better about that. But
And I'd go cash only. As soon as they,
Well, the problem with that, though, is when
they
you've
wouldn't
got-
have any credit. I mean, they wouldn't go back to credit.
Right.
They wouldn't get a second chance.
Once they do that. Let's work on that process for collections before we,
Yeah, that's another discussion.
because our office has never been involved in some of that. There might be some things that we can help with too,
yeah,
for that side.
that's a great idea.
So,
But again, I just would like to highlight that this is I think a good opportunity for the landfill to grow and strengthen versus being kind of shoestringed all the time with,
So would this be able to be covered by fees?
you'd have to find an operating cut in order to fund that this fiscal year, because right now I've got you maxed out with revenues.
Okay.
So if you could find, are you gonna keep the scale house wage? Or are you thinking it would be where it's gonna be cross-trained and all of that? Or
I think
are you gonna have a
maybe we
higher
would keep
wage?
the scale house wage.
Okay.
I think we'd just run what the scale, because largely that's gonna be what they're gonna be doing. I think probably half or 2/3 is going to be scale house work. But if we could utilize that extra portion even for, we could even get as crazy as some generator training, some of the stuff that doesn't require operator skills and abilities, just regular old pickup truck or a car that can go around the landfill, get parts for us, all those kinds of things would be nice to have that as an option anyway.
And then the other part about this is, we've had discussion about operators and raising them from what we have here somewhat. So that's another increase that we'd have to cover somehow in the budget, through fees or whatever. I
Yeah,
mean,
because they're maxed.
Yeah. And that's why I say, I'd just like it to be on your guys' radar. If it can't be this year, if we could look at it potentially in the
and
future.
we're gonna talk about fees in the next little bit here.
Next week.
I mean, so if there's adjustments on fees, we need to know about that too, to cover these things. But I will say that it's kind of interesting, you talk about increasing fees, and we just talked about giving $200,000 break at the same time. I mean, both of them are important, but they're pulling us in two different directions.
Yeah.
So the scale house position would be about 47,000 with benefits, and the equipment operators
7.4, I believe.
are about the same thing, 46,776. So for easy math, 47,000. So we're looking at 94,000 if you did both. But health insurance would change, so that might actually be a little. It'd be around that, so 100,000 for easy math.
Well, and that's, as we talked about fees, or how to cover this, or where we would be able to do it, that's what we need to.
And did you have, is there any potential part of the B budget that would cover this? $100,000?
We would need Dylan to look.
Yeah, I could look through it a little bit closer. That's getting to be a portion of money that's more than I would be comfortable with, but I don't know if there's incremental portions we could take out of multiple lines or something, but I'll go through it with a fine tooth comb again and see if I can come up with
If you had a preference of one or the other, which would be your priority?
one or the other operators or scale house. I would have to go with operators on that one.
Okay. Okay. Just so the board has that.
Well, and because of the other departments that are involved with that,
Right.
operators would be the, but, yes, it was you yesterday or something, talked about the project for the scale house. And where's that moving along, and would that alleviate, because every commercial person coming down off the hill wouldn't go back across the scale.
Correct.
So would that alleviate this position
It could potentially.
later too?
It could potentially. It absolutely has
Efficiency.
that ability to alleviate that need, other than the fact of you have to have one person out there anyway. And if we have, a unique situation happen, like last year, we got a little nervous there for a while, that it would be highly beneficial to have that third one. Just 6 days a week is hard to cover with two people alone.
It's almost impossible.
We do have a seasonal person though, right?
And that money would be absorbed if you guys approved the,
So how much have we got in seasonal?
12,000.
I think it was 15,000.
15. That's extra, overtime's 12,000.
So,
So yeah, 15. So instead of
Okay.
coming up with 94,000, it would be,
we'll look at it then. I think that it's a need, because we have increased the workload out there. Just people going across them scales and going up to the landfill.
yeah,
It's not like
they've
it's-
steadily gone
It's not
up.
like it used to be.
No.
That's for sure.
well, and we did used to have more office staff that covered office plus, and then that got dwindled down over the years.
Yeah, so in my own opinion, this is one that we need to take very seriously. I think it's not a want, it's a need. Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you're up. We need to go into executive session.
We do, because I need to speak about a
Mr. Chair, I
specific
move
employee.
that we enter into executive session under Idaho Code 74-2061A to discuss personnel matters.
Commissioner Crowder,
Yes.
Commissioner Moses,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard.
Yes.